Back in the original Pokemon games, there were only 5 different types of Pokeballs you could use: the Classic, the Great, the Ultra, the Safari, and then the Master Ball. Over the years, each new generation added a few more, and if you can believe it, as of Generation 9, there are more than 30 different kinds of Pokeballs you can use, each with their own unique design and effects. It's a good bet that every time Pokemon jumps to a new region, we'll see new Pokeballs, and so in anticipation of wherever Pokemon goes next after Scarlet and Violet, today I wanted to share some of the ideas I have for new types of Pokeballs. Number 1. The Step Ball. Not my greatest name, but the concept behind this Pokeball is pretty sound. In newer Pokemon games, you run around a lot. I mean, they're gigantic open worlds, so it only makes sense that you'd rack up hundreds, if not thousands of steps during play sessions. My idea is to take those steps and use them to essentially power a new type of Pokeball, the Step Ball. When you buy this kind of Pokeball, it would have a catch rate a bit lower than a regular Pokeball, but as you start walking, its power would increase. So Tier 1 is achieved with, let's say, 1,000 steps, and it's 1.5 times better than a Pokeball. Tier 2 is with 3,000 steps, and it's 2 times better than a Pokeball, and Tier 3 is 5,000 steps, and it's 3 times more effective than a Pokeball. The numbers could obviously use a little bit of tweaking, but I think a Pokeball that you can essentially upgrade just by adventuring around is a pretty cool idea and would work very well with the newer open world gameplay of Pokemon. Number 2. The Spectre Ball. There are a few Pokeballs out there whose specialty is catching Pokemon of a specific type. The Net Ball is good for Bug and Water types, the Dive Ball is also good for Water types, and there's a couple others. I don't necessarily think we need a Pokeball for every type, but with how prominent ghost types are becoming in the Pokeverse, I think a Spectre Ball that is better at catching ghosts could be an interesting idea to implement. Perhaps it even takes on more of a technology-based design, and you have to complete a side quest helping scientists create it before you can even purchase it. Just some random lore ideas, but I think adding in a Pokeball that works better on a specific type every few generations would be a good idea, and the Spectre Ball could be a rare one to purchase. Number 3. The Roulette Ball. I'm kinda surprised Pokemon hasn't had a ball like this yet, but the Roulette Ball would be a pure random chance Pokeball. From a 0.1 catch modifier all the way up to a guaranteed catch, each Roulette Ball would be the epitome of taking a gamble. In my mind, I don't envision this as a ball that trainers would use frequently, but a ball that is pretty cheap and you'd only use in dire circumstances. You're up against a legendary and ran out of your other, more reliable Pokeballs? Well, it's time to take a chance and spin the Roulette Ball. Number 4. An Evil Team Ball. This is more of a cosmetic Pokeball, but to help each region's evil team feel more cohesive, I think there should be a dedicated Pokeball that all of their team members use. A Rocket Ball, Magma Ball, Skull Ball, and so on. With Pokemon becoming more open to the player customizing themselves with options that canonically belong to other characters, I could also see these Pokeballs being something you can unlock later in the game, too. I don't know, it's not my craziest ball idea, but I like the concept of evil teams having a Pokeball uniform, essentially, and it would be a cool reward to give the player when they beat the game. Number 5. The Explosion Ball. Much like with the Roulette Ball idea, the Explosion Ball is an item that most would only use if they're feeling daring. The idea with this Pokeball is that when it attempts to capture a Pokemon, it emits a small explosion that damages the monster a small amount. In turn for damaging the Pokemon, the Explosion Ball would have a higher than average catch rate. I like the idea of some Pokeballs being designed around more of a risk versus reward style of gameplay, and taking the chance to capture a shiny or legendary with an Explosion Ball with the slight risk that you might KO it is my kind of intensity. And those are some ideas I have for new Pokeballs. Not the craziest of ideas, but I'm pretty happy with how they turned out, and would honestly love to see them, or an idea similar to them, show up in a future Pokemon game. Anyways, what do you guys think? Do you like these ideas? Maybe they're not quite your jam. Maybe you have some Pokeball ideas of your own you'd like to share. Please let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.